Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. And we're doing some cross-referencing here, guys. We're trying to figure out if there was a sailor on board the Rock of Gibraltar who was here in the area around the 7th of November, 1894, which was the murder date. So we got Charles Chill, Jack Crocker, Henry Southward, Ernest J. Woods, Thomas Walker, Herbert Winnington, and Mr. William Partridge. Departure from Adelaide, Australia on March 16th. Arrival in London, May 23rd. So we've got the Gaia list of senior officers. Rogers, Talbot Sr., Ernest J. Woods, Jr. Officer.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Departure from Adelaide. Arrival in London on November 12th. Okay, so he was out to sea. Samuel L. Graham? No. Well, that's one. Let's go ahead and check out the rest here. Chill. That was on January 28th, 1895. So he couldn't be the one we need.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
He was way out to sea. Robert Gordon, James Clan, Herbert Hawkins, not Whittington, William Partridge.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Process of elimination, guys. Mr. Jack Crocker. Departure on November 10th. Oh. Okay, he was still in London. The ship hadn't taken off yet. Or is not planning to take off yet.
Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
Okay. That's one. Let's see if we can grab the rest here. Duncan, Peter, George, Frank, John Paul, George and Ringo. There's Herbert. March 2nd. Ship left in October.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Now we need a Thomas and a Henry. Oh, there's Thomas.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Henry Southward. Did we miss him earlier? Oh, here he is. Departure in May.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Looks like we have our man.
Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
Well, that pretty much seals it. Now, where do we go? Call Crocker to confront him.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him.
Go forth, Wiggins.
Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
Sometime later.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yowza.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Well, let's go ahead and get a profile here. Clear look. Honest. Okay. Incredible beard. And that goes down fast. He's got a bruise on his thumb, it looks like. Newspaper ink. Clean boots. What are we missing here? Oh. He's got himself a sea knife. Strong build.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brakenall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her. From when I was first officer, but I still don't see...
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... And what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brakenall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right, if there was no evidence.
What then?
So, you tied her up, did you?
Lady Brakenall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Poor health. Sailor's knots.
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night?
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Yowza.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No. There is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
Yeah. The knife. Okay, X call... This can't be everything, can it? It might very well be. Will be met in a future case. Yeah, that is all the suspects. Holy crap. Okay. Crocker Statement and Captain Crocker. Ooh. That's weird little glitchy. Crocker's involvement. Crocker is lying. His involvement is clear. He appeared as soon as he heard I was looking for him, thus signaling his guilt. Captain Crocker was aboard the Sharp on the night of the murder. He was not afraid to confront me, and he had a confident demeanor. And that completely takes that out of the... Let's see what else that we can figure out. So if we go with Crocker's involvement... The captain is the killer. Like so. Okay, let's back that up real quick. Due to a poker blow, the robbery was faked. Is there any way to turn this toward the maid? Not so. And 3 people drinking wine. Oh yeah, the wine glasses kind of put an end to that, doesn't it? And I'm not seeing... Well, might there be one down here? By one person. Let me see. Makes all these connections go Randall's blame, the imitated robbery. 3 people. Yeah, I don't think we can connect them. I think the captain did do it, especially with the knife. So, you know what? We're going to go ahead and call our shot. Because I think that might be everything that we can do. LB conclusions. Hold on. Let's see. Clues. You have found and utilized all clues in the case. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going with the captain as the killer. Now, the question is whether to arrest or absolve. Jack Crocker is a murderer, and you will bring him and his accomplice, Lady Brakenall, to justice. Ooh. Sir Eustace was murdered by one person who was visiting that night. The murderer is tall and agile and a high-ranking sailor. Absolve Captain Crocker. The murder was committed in self-defense. Jack Crocker defended a woman against a violent and maniacal man. The mystery is solved, but you decide to keep it secret. There is no need to inform the police. Well, you know what? The thing about it is, if the captain was involved in it, then chances are good the captain didn't give her the black eye. Chances are good that Sir Eustace did. And maybe that was the catalyst to get Captain Crocker to actually come to the defense and lay the smackdown. You know what? I think... Do we arrest? Do we absolve? Let's absolve. I think this is a short case comparatively to the
Wiggins,
last one.
Could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Barely an hour has passed. Let's see if we're correct.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brakenall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife, the knots were sailors' knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brakenall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots.
We were right.
Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brakenall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear, and it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
Huh? Oh. Oh, Lord. Thank you, Telltale Games.
Please forgive me, Captain Crocker. I wished only to test your sincerity, and your words and deeds have far exceeded my expectations. See here, Captain Crocker, we'll do this in due form of law. You are the prisoner. Watson, you are a British jury. Captain Crocker, the evidence shows that you acted without premeditation and used reasonable force to protect an innocent victim from her husband's brutality. Your devotion pushed you to attempt to kill yourself in order to protect the one you love. Now, what say you, gentlemen of the jury?
Not guilty, my lord.
Vox populi, vox Dei. You are acquitted, Captain Crocker. So long as the law does not find some other victim, you are safe from me.
Mr. Holmes.
It is a great responsibility that I take upon myself, but I will give Lestrade an excellent lead, and if he can't avail himself of it, I can do no more. Come back to your lady in a year, and may her future and yours justify us in the judgment which we have pronounced this night.
I think we made the right call there.
Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
Sir Eustace was murdered by Captain Jack Crocker, who was visiting Lady Brakenall that night. They staged it as a robbery by the Randall gang. Crocker used his sea knife to cut the bell rope to tie the lady and then hid the silverware in the well. Jack Crocker defended a woman against a violent and dipsomaniacal man. And you have decided to keep it a secret. I'm okay with that. We will go ahead and accept the decision and finish the case. How many people made the same choice? 93%. And 65% of people made the same moral choice. Okay. Holmes's heart grew 3 sizes that day. The Kew Gardens drama. I actually read the case name this go around.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, how ever did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
I really would like Toby to come with us, instead of having all the bees swarming around. Hold on. We need to... You okay, Toby?
Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent.
Eat the notes. This is actually kind of funny because it confirms that movie I was telling you about, Mr. Holmes, when he retires and becomes a beekeeper. It's very appropriate. I want to check the notes here. Brakenall. Dear Mr. Holmes, I have finally found the courage to write you a letter. I can scarcely find the words to express my gratitude for your kindness. On that terrible day, I believed my life to be ruined, but at the same time I realized there to be one person in the world who truly loved me and who I loved in return. His name we know both. He is Captain Jack Crocker. His love has given me true reason to live. Even if we cannot be together in the end, none of this could have happened without you, Mr. Holmes. Yours sincerely, Mary Brakenall. Just give it a year. And the harpoon. Oh, we got a silver fork as a trophy? Interesting. Where would that fork be? Somewhere around here. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Let's hope that Mrs. Hudson is not allergic to bees. Otherwise, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And I'm sure Toby can go ahead and hold the fort while we're gone. Looks like Holmes is still reading Crimes and Punishments. Or Crime and Punishment. Oh, we forgot his hat this go around. Well, boo. That's alright, though. Go ahead and let his head breathe for a little bit. And we've arrived. Now watch, there's some sort of despicable murder that's happened.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
That didn't seem sincere.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favour for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens, and that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
I remember Miss White from Clue.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house?
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
Wonder what that band-aid on his chin is for. Examine the place of Dunn's death. Okay. Knew Holmes wasn't going to be bored.
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead.
Fragments, footprints, dirt.
Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
Okay.
The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here.
Could be a guy with a peg leg as well. Oh, hello. I see you. Give me 1 second. We will...
This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed. The esconson was breached near the handle.
Is that what that's called?
The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection Room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection Room.
Yes, indeed.
This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it.
Okay, we'll check out Colonial Collections here in just 1 sec. We also need to have missing plants. We need to, plants from the east and the land of the rising sun. Dionea, Carnivorous, Florum. Oh, these are all dangerous sounding plants. Some of them.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
I think we have those as evidence.
Do not touch.
Yes, indeed.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
And even balloons. Alright. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I think this is a good place to go ahead and end the episode. We've got ourselves a brand new case, a murder that we didn't expect, and some apparently very poisonous plants to find, so probably a lot to do here. We'll go ahead and end it here. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.